Hello, and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. This week, we are covering episode 7 of Survivor Heroes versus Villains. I can't wait to get into this crazy episode. But before we jump into that, the Love Island finale premiered this week, and we both have been watching all
I'm just got my
season.
hydro flasks.
Oh my god. But instead of sharing, how our weeks are or whatever, I have to ask Riley, what are your thoughts on Love Island and how it ended?
I don't feel like we really talked about Love Island that much while it was airing this summer on the pod.
It's hard to talk about on a pod where it goes up multiple days after we record
Right.
when there's an episode almost every day of the week of Love
Right.
Island.
So true. Maddie and I both watched along Love Island. I watched last season live. Maddie did not watch last season live, so this was her first Love Island experience. Which I feel, and last season was my first season, so I'm not an OG. So sorry to all the girls who were like, people only started watching after season 6. I'm like, yes, I did. It was an amazing television program. I don't know what to tell you. This season as a whole, or focus on the finale, I think the finale was fine. I'm happy for Amaya and Brian. Amaya Papaya is my day one. I've been supporting Amaya literally since she dropped in as a bombshell. I was like, oh, I'm obsessed with her. Obsessed
Yeah,
with her. So I'm so happy for Amaya and Brian by association.
exactly.
um, I'm. I was.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Amaya and Brian.
Okay, me too.
Um, but I was perturbed at Chris and Huda.
Well, I will share my thoughts. I wrote some things down.
Huda, if you wanted to, like, if you knew you were gonna break it off with this man, and not saying that Chris was gonna be, we all knew this was not gonna work. Like, we knew for the past like 5 episodes, we knew this was just not gonna end well for either of them.
Mm-mm.
No matter who ended it off. But I'm like, I would have much rather have seen Ace and Shelly in the final than Huda and Chris.
Yeah.
I'd rather have seen at least people who are pretending, or like, I don't think they're pretending. I think Ace and Shelly are happy with each other, but I'd rather have seen a couple that is happy with each other than a couple who literally like break up on their final day in the finale. Huda, like, okay, so I hate to say anti-Huda, but I was like off the Huda, like, even post Jeremiah, I was like, I'm not fucking with you. And then Chris came
Hmm.
in, and I was like, okay, maybe I am vibing with you a little bit. Like, I like this couple. And then, like, a week ago, I was like, no, this is not doing what I needed to do for me. Um, and so I feel like it's just Huda. Like, I feel like I just don't mess with Huda like that, which I don't think is an unpopular opinion.
Well,
She
watch
just,
out for the Huda train.
the Hood Rats.
The Hood Rats, yeah.
That's what they, Sierra, did you see Sierra tweeted and was like, I'd like to thank all the, or not thank, it said something about Hood's fans and used hashtag Hood Rats. Hood Rats. And people were like, that's what we, Hood's actual fans were like, that's not what we call ourselves. And she was like, oh, I thought that was your guys' name.
What do they call themselves?
I don't know. I'm not a part of that fandom, so I don't know.
Same.
It shocked me. Also shocked that Iris and Pepe were in the final. Girl, fake, 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 fake.
And the way they looked shocked when they got fourth was
At
crazy.
least Chris and Huda liked each other at some point. I'm like, I don't even know if y'all really fucked with each other at any point, Iris and Pepe. Like, I truly don't believe y'all.
On
Like,
any level but physical.
right. And when the family visit came and Iris wasn't emotional at all, I was like, I just like, none of this is real to me. So I'm happy
Mm-mm.
for Amaya and Brian. I really felt like that was the only option. I really am excited to see how Nick and Alendria blossom out of the villa, but something tells me that they are, hate to say it, and I am also a Nick Alendria supporter. I really do love
Mm-hmm.
them as a couple. I'm happy and so proud that they got second. Something tells me that it is just going to sort of be for clout, and as soon as it dies down, they will break up.
And it'll
Or
be
they're not
sort of a
even break up, they're
friendship.
not even together.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I am happy for Amaya and Brian. And Huda pisses me off. I was pissed off after when they did the final four and like when Ariana revealed the winners, and then like Pepe, Iris, Chris, and Huda were off to the side, and then
Mm-hmm.
Pepe kisses Iris, and Huda's like, "One for me, girl. If you don't step the fuck back right now." And then what really got me good, was on the finals cuts when they're all in the pool and they're doing a slow-mo on every couple, and it cuts to Nick and Alandria, and Huda is wrapped around Nick, and Nick and Alandria are kissing, and Huda is just
Oh,
like
ew.
grasping onto Nick. I'm like, girl, get away. What were
Yeah.
your thoughts on the finale?
Okay, and just sort of in general, also never been on the Huda train. I don't understand how people can defend her. Especially, I feel like Jeremiah has his own issues to sort out clearly after watching their sort of relationship unfold, but I feel like a lot of it is that he just like was insecure enough in himself and his relationship to like do anything to stand up for himself ever, so he was just sort of going along with it. So, kudos to Huda on that, I guess. But yeah, after that, I was like, okay, I really wanted her out at that point because I was like, what is she going to contribute? Turns out, I she's still, doing her Huda thing the rest of the time. But I, the only time this season, I guess maybe two times where I sort of felt for her was with the like, Chris Shelley sort of, what was it, Shelley? How she only like brought Chris in for
Right,
her. And I was like, I don't think that's fair to Huda. I was on Huda's side with that. Immediately she lost me with the heart rate challenge,
right.
all of that. And then, yeah, her and Chris. I don't feel bad for Huda and how things turned out with Chris, obviously, because I think so much of it is like her just being so annoying at every single step.
Yeah.
However, I do have to say, I don't think he handled it well either. And I felt bad for her at that final date when like he so clearly has been uninterested for so long but just hasn't said anything, and I feel like he kind of led her on, and instead of him standing up and saying, "You know what? I'm actually not feeling this." Like he should have broken it off. I feel like he has been so disconnected from it for so many days at least, like if not like almost the whole time. And I got mad when he was making her be the one to say that they were going to break it off after all of that. I'm like, stand up, like be a man for a second and like say what you actually feel. And then he was just like so emotionally like I get it. I feel like after, having to share a bed with Huda and like be coupled up with her for a hot minute, like I think I would also be pretty emotionally drained, but he was just like so emotionally unavailable like to her through the whole thing. And like her crying at that dinner, I was like, "Oh, like I think she needs to like seek relationship therapy or something." Like on how to move forward in relationships. So that's how I felt about all of that. I think Chris should have broken it up prior to the finale.
Now, not to defend Chris, because I hate defending a man, but I have to say I was on Chris's side, and I said, you know what? I'm glad that you made her break up with you. And to me, I'm like, I'm glad that he stood on that business, because to me,
Mm,
that's Huda lost me extremely when she confessed that she would not kiss him in front of anybody else. Oh,
right.
but you want him to cuddle you in bed? But you
Yeah.
won't kiss him, and that's where I'm like, Huda does never meets the middle. That's like you saw this with
Yes.
Jeremiah, and again, like I don't want to defend men because like 90% of the time the men are on the wrong, but
Yeah.
Huda, like, I think throughout the whole season just like did not know how to meet people in the middle. It was either it's Huda's
Yeah.
way or no way. Whether that was her relationship with the other women or whether that was her
Yeah.
relationship romantically with the men, I feel like there was a lack of her wanting to meet in the middle. And to me, what really I was like, okay, I can't defend her. Not that I was ever defending Huda, but I was like, I can't be on this train anymore. Like, I can't be in the back caboose, like, maybe on,
Uh-huh.
maybe off. Like, I'm officially off now. When she was like, I don't feel comfortable kissing you, which is
Yeah.
fine. But then
But
if
you're
you are,
also on Love Island.
you're on Love Island number one. Um, but two, then you want him to show up for you in other ways. Like, oh, I won't kiss you, but I need you to cuddle me in front of people. I
Yeah.
won't kiss you, but I need you to want to make out with me in bed and, like, low-key want to fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, okay, you want all of these things, but you won't meet him where he's at. And I'm not saying, like, okay, if that is your boundary, that's your boundary. But to me, in my head, I'm like, all of these other things pass kissing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you don't want to kiss, that's okay. But fucking in bed, borderline fucking in bed, to me, goes beyond kissing in public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
At
still
least
the
on
same
my
group
own
of people
personal
that you're
scenario.
around, and it's still
Right.
cameras everywhere.
Right, like even if you're fucking in bed, which you did multiple times in the season with Jeremiah and with Chris,
Mm-hmm.
we saw we saw it happen, and like you talked about it, like we know it happened. So like, why is
Yeah.
it okay for you to not like? That doesn't make any sense to me, and that's where I'm like, oh, you're delusional, and you're not here, like whatever. So to defend Chris in that moment, I do get what you're saying, because it did feel like he was stringing it along, and they should have broken it off before the finale, so that was Ace and Shelley there instead of them. I don't think that
Yes.
either of them deserve to be in the finale, and I will agree with you that it should have been broken off way before that moment. However, I feel like Huda created this scenario, and she was the one that put the line, like she's the one that drew the line. And the night
Yes.
before, when she was like, if you don't cuddle me right now, I'm going to make your day
3,
hell
2,
tomorrow.
1.
Like, don't talk to me like that. Number one. Number two, I
Yeah.
don't want to cuddle. Like, oh, so you're bored. Like, you don't want to kiss people. That's fine. But I don't want to cuddle, and that's not okay.
And
So
it's gonna
why is
ruin our
only
day
your-
tomorrow.
Right. So, like, why are your hard lines okay, but my hard lines are not? Like, I don't want to cuddle you right now. I'm tired.
Yes, and this is not a defense of Huda,
I know.
but I also think that like these are just, I don't want to say like these are things that are deeply, deeply wrong with her, but like these are things that she's just obviously not going to get while on the show and
Right.
like in that space. And so I think that like I'm not defending either of them.
Right.
But I do think that Chris should have broken it off because like obviously Huda was not going to. And like
Right.
that is just sort of how it was going to be. And she is in her own little world about this, and this is just generally how she treats relationships. But like I think like if I were putting myself in Chris's shoes, I would have just broken it off. Like I don't understand why he couldn't just do that. And then it made it feel like almost the final date was like I don't want to say malicious intent with him, but it felt like he was kind of setting her up to do this when I don't think that she had any malicious intent behind what she was doing. I think she just like is delusional.
And I think that is why he wanted her to be the one to end it off, because
Yeah.
the thing Chris needs, like the last thing he needs is for him to end it off and for her to want like villainize him because of it.
Yeah.
Or be like, I don't get why he wanted it. If him putting it in her court to be like, you need to do it for your own reasons, then it will like officially that will be the reason it officially ended, because Huda came to terms with why she wanted it to be done and was forced to make the decision. But I do agree with you. I don't think you're defending Huda, and I also agree with the fact that it should have like either of them. Neither of them are perfect. Either of them should have ended it a week ago. You know what I mean?
Literally, yeah.
And I agree that but I do understand what you're saying, and like it feels like it was a setup. I think it was a setup, and that's why I live for it, because I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like it deserved to be a setup for the way that Huda treated the
Yeah.
people around her this season. Not just
Yeah.
the men she was in a relationship with, but like
Yes.
the women on this season. I just was like, I feel like she I feel like she deserved it, Loki. But
Also, production is messy for sending that singer out in
Right.
the middle of that.
right.
She's like,
And
do I really have to go on right now?
Right. Like, you know, she was watching on in the camera on the back and was like, what's going on?
And they're like, and now too cute.
Right. I will live. Oh, I lived so again. Just me enjoying messy TV. Both of them questionable people, but Chris making Huda walk after even he.
Oh,
carried her there
that
and
made me
making her-
sad
And
for
she said, "Do you
her.
want to carry me or should I walk?" And he was like, "I'm not carrying.
I'm
you."
not carrying you.
Oh, I kind of ate that
Oh,
up, Loki. I said,
it
"I'm
was-
glad he stood on business."
Yeah.
Her porn
No, I
was taken under
definitely-
glass.
I definitely like. I don't want to say I enjoyed watching it and like her being sad, but like it was definitely a standout sort of
Moment of the final.
period. Yeah, of the finale. So that. Do you have anything else to say on that? I have more to talk.
Wait, what?
I need to shift to Nicolandria after this.
Oh,
But what were you gonna say?
shift to Nicolandria. I'll do my wrap up once we're done with this conversation. I'll do my wrap up thought because I have
Okay.
a final thought. But Nicolandria, of course.
Okay, so I do need to address Nicolandria Nation in this.
Oh,
Um
whatever she's about to say, if it's bad, I'm not with her. I want y'all to
No.
know I am a Nicolandria stan. So
No. I am. But this is for the people who were diehard voting for them, thought they should win, and were upset about Amaya winning. I have to say, I am a Nicolandria fan. I have been since the beginning of the season, right? But I am glad that our rightful queen, Amaya Papaya, won because I, at the end of the day, don't think that Nick or Olandria deserve to win after their behavior the entire season.
right.
Like, I support them as a couple and their journey together that was sort of, at some points, maybe even forced upon them by production. They said, ooh, these fans need this is how we need to feed the fans. And I'm glad that, they're able to sort of grow something out of that. And I am so supportive of it. I love seeing them together. However, like, in no way do I think that the people that were in these other connections for so long deserve to benefit from their actions.
Right.
Like, Alandria, I'm so glad you are not with that man Taylor anymore.
God.
And like, when I think back to how frustrating that was, I'm like, no, I'm glad that you're ending up on top and like in a fun way. But that was truly insufferable watching you be so into this guy that is not worth your time.
Right.
And similarly with Nick and the Sierra situation, which was what it was, like, they weren't interesting to me and they never felt like they really liked each other. And I don't know, maybe that's just like my own perspective from as a viewer. I just was never really into them at all and wanted him to explore other connections. And so in conclusion, I'm so glad that they are together now and that they, got their second place and they seem happy and really a win for the community in that respect. But I'm just glad that America finally voted right for once because Amaya played the game so well. She was just treated so poorly by so many of the men on there, and she persevered. She continued to put herself out there, and you know what? I really between neutral and positive on Brian. I'm happy that they're happy.
Right.
I thought their final date was so cute with the photo album. And I'm really happy for them, but more specifically her. I feel like she is the winner of the season and she deserved it more than anyone.
Right. And I will agree with that.
Thank you.
And I agree with Nicolandria, your things. I think that was my thing with them too. The reason that I did not vote for them to win. I like them as a couple, and I think overall they're both redeemable people. Like, I think they're both good people, and I think they're a great couple. But I just got fed up with both of them at multiple points of the season, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to reward this at this point. So,
exactly. Okay, well, I'm glad you agree with me.
are those sort of your thoughts?
Yes, those are my wrap-up thoughts, but I'm so happy for Amaya.
I will say that I watched the first episode of Beyond the Villa, and I forgot how much I love these people, and specifically, seeing the season 6 men specifically, I was like, oh my god, where were all the hot men this season on Love Island?
Yeah.
Miguel, Kenny, Cordell. I was like, where are the hot men? Last season, I was like, oh, the men are so fine. They're so very attractive, and I was like, oh, why couldn't we have a little bit of that sprinkled on to this season? Unfortunately, that was not in the budget, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited. The drama, oh my god, Beyond the Villa, I'm excited. I'm hoping Beyond the Villa will sort of be my gateway into non-competition reality TV. Because I haven't watched a ton of that.
I need you to start watching The Housewives.
I know, I really need to get into it. I liked the first episode, so we'll see where this season goes. But I feel like I had another thing to share. I don't remember, but that was sort of my wrap-up thoughts on Love Island. Beyond the Villa looks like it's going to be good, and I wish there were hot men on this season.
Period.
I don't. Hello.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to go back and watch season 6.
I think it'll be good. I think you'll enjoy it.
Sweet. Well, that wraps up our Love Island chat. Thank you for, sticking through. If not, hey.
Hey, welcome to Survivor Chat.
Let's get into Survivor Chat. Yeah. Okay. So, jumping in, we open on the Villains Tribe the morning after voting Tyson out. And Boston Rob is feeling like something suspicious might have happened last night. Like, what got to Tyson?
Can I do a thought on the overall episode real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I really loved this episode.
I loved it, too.
I'm like, this is why, again, I brought this up every couple of episodes of this pod, but, like, it's been a while since I've, like, sat down and rewatched Heroes vs. Villains. I'm like, this is why this season is so good. Obviously, there's some really flashy moves and iconic characters, but there's just a rawness to this season. Like, this episode felt very emotionally charged.
Mm-hmm. Very.
On both, like, the heroes and the villains tribe, specifically the villains. I was just like, wow, there is a lot of stuff going on right now. Specifically, Jerry I'm like, oh my god, why am I watching this season with Jerry on it and we're getting Colby back? Jerry is giving me the old school Survivor. Like, there's something so raw about her views on this game. Mm-hmm. And, like, her relationships with everybody, her relationship with Rob and Coach, and their thoughts on Russell. Like, Jerry doesn't like Russell, but she's like, I like Rob, and I trust Rob, but I don't want to, like...
And she wants to play her own game.
I have to play my own game, and Russell's going to get me to the end, but I don't like Russell, and I'm like, oh... I don't like Parvati, but, like, I know that I need to work with her. It's just, like, I'm like, this is the, like...
This is why I like watching Survivor.
What?
This is why, I like watching Survivor. Right. Is for seasons and people like this, and games like this.
I'm really loving Jerry's character so far in this pre-jury phase.
Yeah. Anyone that upsets Coach, you're a fan of.
Right.
So, I agree with you. I am just having such a good time watching every episode. I'm like, oh my god, this is so much fun. And I'm so glad we're doing this. So, anyways. We are in the shelter, and we have Sandra, Jerry, and Courtney, who are telling... I wrote Coach. Telling Rob, I think, that Tyson must have just freaked out after someone in the other alliance got into his head and was, telling him about, maybe we'll vote for Parvati, whatever. And that sort of is where they lost Tyson. And Courtney then in a confessional is talking about the Russell Parv alliance. And this is one of my favorite quotes of the whole episode. She says that Russell is like a little troll who scampers around with his tooth missing, is in and out of the bushes, and never washes. And then she's like, Parvati has no trouble flirting with anything that walks. So that's where we're at.
This is how you know Russell really stinks, because it's been brought up multiple times. And they're only, 2 weeks in? I mean, only 2 weeks, but, like, that's how you know it's bad. It's sort of a reoccurring thing.
And if, like, there's multiple other men and, like, just a lot of people on this tribe who are also not, washing with soap and stuff, like, for someone to be called out for smelling so bad so many times is crazy. And then for Parv to, like, be hugging him and hanging out with him, I'm like, wow, I could not do that.
She knows how to get herself to the end of the game.
Yeah, she says, I'll hang out with this stinky man for $1 million.
Right. You can tell this Tyson vote really messed with everybody, because the way that they immediately are having this conversation as soon as they wake up. Like, they're not even out of bed. They're all still under the blanket. Like, you can tell everybody's still groggy, but they've just all been thinking, at least Rob has been thinking about it. Like,
yeah,
it's fresh on their minds.
I love the camera angles. It feels more real a lot of times in these early seasons or earlier seasons too. Like the ones of them fully in their little tarp situation and the camera's right up in there. Like they feel like they are like surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Russell, Parv, and Danielle are sort of giggling over their move and their future plans, and they're just being, their cocky little villain selves. And this is deeply offending Rob and the rest of the other people over there too, but mostly Rob.
He doesn't get it.
No, he doesn't get it. He's jealous that they're having such a good fun time, I think. Could you imagine what would have happened if like Rob decided to flip and they joined forces?
Rob and Russell.
Yeah.
That would have been a deadly combination, I feel like. But there's in no world, like Russell was so threatened by Rob.
Later, still with the villains, Russell, Parv, and Danielle are talking to Jerry and trying to lure her into their alliance by talking about how strong they are, how Rob is a terrible leader, and she must be getting fed up with him over there, and to just join the dark side with them. And Jerry talks about how she's at this point not really over her beef with Parv, and she's just not really a big fan of them. And
Which is kind of a one-sided beef, mind you. Like,
yeah,
I don't think Parvati has any negative opinions about Jerry.
no, it does not feel that way. And overall, she's just feeling pretty non-committal towards them, but she's definitely interested. She just has some things to work through first.
She's feeling out all of her bases. She wants to figure out what's going to be the best route.
Then we move over to the heroes, and things are not looking great. It's been a pretty rainy night, pretty cold, but, they're all sort of, recouping after losing, James. Why did I forget his name for a second? James the past night. And Colby is really feeling the pressure at this point because he knows that he needs to shape up and perform better in these challenges if they're going to keep him around.
Yeah, he knows he's on the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, I'm glad he knows this. It's still though, it doesn't feel like he has like the fight in him over this. He's just like, oh, I need to like do better or they're gonna vote me out. It's not like, this is an opportunity for me to work harder.
Right, to really grow.
Lock in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get to the reward challenge, and 3 members from each tribe race through the water to get a ball, and the goal is to score the ball into the net for your team, while physically trying to prevent the other team from scoring. The first to 3 wins. And this was fun. It was pretty straightforward.
They're really bad at throwing the basketball.
They really are bad at throwing the basketball.
Well, it's hard
It's
without
crazy.
a backboard. It's hard without some sort of like...
Yeah. And also, like, being in the water, like, I don't know, thinking
Right.
about people like tugging on you, I think it would be hard.
Tackling you as you're throwing the ball.
Exactly. And reward is lunch at a beautiful waterfall. The first round is Colby. I mean, there's not that many people in, so we'll skip it. But anyways, the interesting thing is Russell just completely holding JT like a lock the whole time in this round and not moving at all. I'm like, you know what? That is probably how he could be most useful. And after a lot of failed attempts, Colby does score.
JT's better than me because I would just like headbutt Russell. I'd sort of be like,
throw your head back. What? He's already missing one tooth.
Exactly. Like, balance it out on both sides of the mouth.
Yes, I think so.
Symmetry is in.
Yeah.
It is.
In what way?
In your teeth.
Okay.
People really like this sort of even.
Oh, yes, very much so. I'm not into that. What are your thoughts on veneers?
I think if they're done correctly, they're fine. I don't think you need a whole mouth set of veneer. Trixie Mattel has just her top row done, and her bottom teeth are her normal teeth. And I think that looks really good because then it looks good. But I don't think you need a whole mouth set of veneers. I think often that can look quite wild. Thinking of Zach K on the most recent season of Love Island, he sort of had like a full veneer set, um,
Yeah.
which can be quite jarring. And a pure white veneer set, it's kind of insane.
Not into it. I think it's bad if you can tell that they're veneers. Like, I don't think you should be able to tell that they look like that they're veneers if they look good, you know?
Right.
I'm not a fan. I don't like how when people have like too big of veneers and then they have a hard time talking normal because their mouth is just so full
Right.
and it like really irrationally bothers me. So, anyways, that's just my personal thing. But the next round, Candace scores again for the heroes. And then the final round, Colby scores again, winning them. The heroes are a lot more aggressive than the villains this challenge. They
They
really came to
are.
play.
At one point, Colby throws Jerry in the water, and that was sort of a decade worth of anger on Jerry.
Yeah. So I'm glad that, maybe he's feeling a little bit better, a little bit more motivated. We go to the reward and everyone is happy about their little picnic. There's lots of meats and cookies and stuff. And Candace pulls out a little scroll that says, she starts reading it. And it's just like, oh, there's another idol at camp. And then they're all like, yeah, maybe let's put that away while we try and eat and have a good time. But really, no one can keep their minds off it. And so immediately after they finish eating, they're like, okay, well, I guess let's read what it says. And they agree to read it and look for that idol as a group. And they want to be a united five against the villains and have this idol to support them.
Which work. I think this is sort of coming from a space of a lot of them not knowing how to like play the game. Well, a lot. Colby, Candace, Rupert, not really knowing how to best optimize an idol. It doesn't really make sense for a tribe to have an idol.
Especially with five people.
Right.
Like, that can only save. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how you use it, but that's kind of an interesting thing.
And knowing how it ends up being used, or like how they end up leveraging it, is really it's just knowing the what's the word? Not the future of the game. I don't know. The what ends up happening is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Back with the villains, Jerry, Coach, and Russell are talking. And Russell says that he wants to take them to the top three. Him with Jerry and Coach. And he says he doesn't think he can beat Parv in the end for the million. So he wants it to be one of those three. He wants to go up against them instead. And Coach isn't believing one single word of it. However, Jerry is. Jerry is fully buying into this plan. And Coach says that him and Jerry are honor bound. Huh? This is where I'm like, Coach, this is one of the moments. This is not the only moment where I'm like, Coach, what's going on here? But they are honor bound to play the game together, and she is making things muddy by working with Russell.
I don't think like that is the case at all. Sort of kind of like, why are you trying to control everything I do?
And like, you might think that you're honor bound, but I don't think Jerry sees it that way.
No.
So Jerry says that Rob isn't trustworthy, and which deeply upsets Coach. By the way, he said, that's my man. Let's not talk about him right now like that. And he's upset over her also sort of lumping him in with this conversation with a, Russell alliance without having talked to Coach privately first about it. And he is just really distraught over this. And with the sad music in the background, it felt like we were watching a breakup sort of happen.
I don't feel I feel that Coach needs to better realize what this looks like in the game sense, because if anything, he should be grateful that Jerry is trying to make sure he's included in all of these plans.
Yes. Because I don't think, I think the Russell alliance just feels a lot more dirty. Maybe because he is physically dirty. But, like, it is sort of an interesting situation either way. And so I don't really understand this, like, total loyalty, honor-bound game to, like, these people.
Right.
And, like, specifically to Boston Rob. So. But then we go to the immunity challenge, and 3 members of each tribe race relay style and climb up a rope structure to get to some bags. And then once they get them all back to the mat, the other 2 people have to solve a puzzle. The villains had sort of a slight lead in the relay, but then unfortunately, Courtney just got a little bit behind at one point, and she sort of struggled on her second run up the sort of trampoline net thing and up on the rope.
It's
And
really quick
the
how revisionist history happens, because let's not forget the reason that they had the advantage in that challenge was because Courtney outdid Candace the first time.
the first time. I know. I was also going to bring that up
Oh,
because
but suddenly,
yeah,
suddenly Courtney fails once,
is the
and
weak
everybody
link.
wants to shoot her dead.
No, literally, like she had a good lead on Candace
Right.
earlier.
Right.
Yeah. And so that is pretty upsetting. And then in the end, Amanda and JT sort of dominated at the puzzle, sending the villains to tribal council.
Now, and again, not to revise history, but I do feel like it's sort of an edit thing. This was a pretty simple puzzle.
And it made it look like Amanda and JT had the puzzle almost done, and like Sandra and I think was it Rob who had nothing.
Yeah, I think it was just that at the end of the day, it was the time advantage. So I don't think that it was Rob and Amanda's fault more. If we were going to blame Courtney, it would be Courtney's fault. But ultimately, why would we blame Courtney?
Never.
Really, so it's none of their faults they lost. It just, like, none of them did bad. It was just the heroes did good, you know?
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
Right.
At the villains camp, Russell is mad about the challenge performance, and he's talking on the beach with Rob, Courtney, and Sandra, who are sort of like digging in the sand, hanging out, and they're discussing who to vote for, and he just points at Courtney and Sandra and is like, one of these right here. And Rob is absolutely stunned and is like, I've never seen an approach like this before, and that is not how you make friends. But I'm also like, I don't think that's necessarily what Russell's concerned with.
No, and I do think that this is the extreme advantage that Russell has over everybody playing this season, is that nobody knows how Russell works. And so they're all stunned by this, but Russell's like, it worked. Well, at this point, Russell didn't know he lost Samoa. And so Russell thought he ate this up. Russell thought that this was his winning tactic his first time around. So he was like, I'm going to just repeat the same thing that worked for me last time. And yeah, like nobody knows how to work around it because nobody's seen it before.
And they're like, wow, this is actually crazy direct, and I cannot believe you just say that. But
I love Courtney and Sandra, they said IDGAF. They just continued, like, Courtney kept doing Sandra's hair.
she was like, yeah, honestly.
She was like, ultimately, it'll work out how it needs to work out.
I love her. Yeah, I did. I think that was funny. They really did not care. I think the funniest part was Rob's reaction to it all.
Yeah, literally being, like, flabbergasted.
Yeah. I think it also just shows just the difference because he, in a lot of ways, was the leader of the other side of, the tribes, the alliance, and Russell's on the other, and just the leadership approaches are so different. Russell doesn't care about ruffle and feathers. Russell and feathers.
Right. Russell, like leaves.
And then Rob and Coach talk, and Coach wants to blindside Parv or vote for Courtney because of her lack of performance and strength in challenges, but Rob would rather take Russell out now because he is more threatened by him than Parv, because he just can't get a grip on what this man is about. I think that's valid.
Yeah.
I think I would take Russell out over Parv.
Me too.
Especially if I was Rob. And if I was Coach, you gotta do whatever your honorable leader wants.
Right.
This is a dictatorship.
Either way, it ends up being that. Whether you side with Russell or you side with Rob.
Yeah. They pretty much agree to go for Russell, but Coach is like, okay, I gotta talk to Jerry first. And then the Russell Alliance is talking with Coach, and Russell's like, ooh, I want to go for Rob so bad. And Coach is like, wait a minute, wait a
Wait
minute.
a minute, Savannah.
L-
Hold up.
Maybe not. But then Danielle and Parv are like, no, let's do that tonight. Yes, let's do that tonight. And they're also excited about it. They're like, let's go crazy. Let's just go
Let's
for
go
Rob.
crazy. Let's get drunk as fuck.
Yes. And Coach is sort of fighting an internal battle with himself at this point.
Mind you,
The
this is all, like, he did this all to himself. He's the one placing all of these little, like, I can't do this. I have to remain, like, my dignity, blah, blah, blah. You were out there playing Survivor. Like, fuck your dignity.
for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Baby, leave with the damaged ego and $1 million at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes. So Coach is sort of fighting the honor battle of his life at this point, and he is truly distraught. He wants Rob to stay in the game because he says that Rob, quote, deserves to be there. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but he also feels like he was backed into a corner by Russell, and he ended up giving him his word. And also he says that Jerry is gullible, which, yeah, it does feel like she pretty quickly would join a pyramid scheme based on how fast she jumped ship. And
Which pyramid scheme?
um, one of them. Probably like the leggings one.
LuLaRoe.
LuLaRoe. Yeah.
Right.
Coach then tries to talk to Jerry and get her not to vote for Rob, but Jerry just isn't feeling sure of that. And that's where we leave them before we go into tribal council.
Yeah, it's just this whole segment pre-tribal is, I think, was my favorite part of the episode, specifically from Jerry. Like, this is what I was talking about a little bit ago, with Rob being like, Jerry, I know you're gonna make the right decision. I trust that you will do what's right, and he's really trying to instill in her this sense of, I think he is wrongfully assuming because Jerry and Coach are working so closely together that her morality is as important to her. But Jerry just wants to win that million at the end of the day.
Right. And who can blame her?
Right. But seeing Jerry sort of like go back and forth and really try to figure out what's best for her, I really enjoyed this part of the episode.
Me too. We get into tribal council, and they talk about how sort of the tides have turned with the heroes' recent victories, and also the shifts in the tribe dynamics after the Tyson vote. Some people like Coach and Rob, or like Tyson was the glue, he was the bridge, he kept us all together. But then Russell and others sort of push back on that, and they're like, no, not really. I think we're stronger without him. So, see you, Tyson. And they also talk about keeping alliances strong versus keeping the tribe strong. And they're different versions of trust and loyalty and what that means to different people. And then that brings us to the vote. Do you have anything to say about this?
No.
It was a pretty straightforward tribal.
Like, why the hell do you keep asking me all these questions? I think, I don't know, yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic. I think especially, I don't know if Tyson was like the glue. I think that's an interesting like place to put him, but I think it's more of the move was so unexpected. And that's what really sort of shook everybody up, was the unexpectedness. So, I think that is more of an angle to better look at what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the end, this is the downfall of Boston Rob this season. Jerry ends up siding with Russell and his group, and Rob goes home in a 4-3-1 vote with Jerry. I already said that, Jerry voting with the Russell Alliance. 3 votes on Russell, and then Coach just had to stick to his honor, and he decided that he couldn't vote for either of the two big dogs, and he votes for Courtney.
Which ultimately Rob ends up leaving as like, you are a little man, and I think that is true. Like I don't think this is, I think this is less honorable in my opinion, not me having more beef with Coach, but I think ultimately it's a less honorable move to just take the easy way out for Coach, which was to just vote Courtney because that's what he wanted. It would have been more honorable for him to have sided with Russell and stuck his feet in the ground and said, "This is what I'm doing." And instead, he's like, "Well, I don't really want to make a decision. I really like Rob and I really like Russell, and I don't want to have to pick between them."
Mm-hmm.
Be a man.
Grow up.
Decide.
You're on a game to win $1 million. Like, make a decision.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, in doing that, like, obviously it doesn't matter because there's no jury at this point. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like it makes you look like more of a wimp to everyone involved, like, especially Boston Rob. Like,
Right.
why would you not just vote one way or the other? I loved not only Rob calling him a little man, but Coach like getting up to give him the hug and sort of starting to wrap his hands around him,
Right.
and Rob turning away like, no,
No.
you're a little
No.
man.
No. Yeah, I agree. I think Jerry had the best sort of perception of Coach's game this episode when she basically says what we've been saying, that he is not in this game to win. Like he's trying to he's trying to protect his image, but you can't.
And she even says, she's like, you can't be friends with everybody out here. You can't
Right.
like please everyone. That's not how it works. You're voting each other out.
Like somebody's gonna leave, at least one person outside of the person, like somebody's gonna leave mad at you or upset with you or have a changed opinion of you. Like you can't keep a perfect image of yourself. You're robbing yourself of the experience of playing Survivor.
Right. Like, I think it's such a shame to go on and then be just so sick over these decisions that you, like, these honor decisions that you're putting on yourself. Like, you're just taking all the fun out of playing the game.
I think that is part of it, though. Like saying all this stuff, obviously, I have my opinion, and my opinion is you should lie, cheat, and steal to win the million. But I do understand that this sort of question of morality and honorability is at the core what Survivor is about. Like, what are people willing to do for $1 million? Like, are you willing to throw your morals out the window? On this like fake game, but is it really a fake game? Because you still have to go back to your real life after this. Like, and you're going to be perceived by millions of people who watch the show. Like, there's all these questions you do have to think about. And it's probably easier to say, let's just throw everything out the window.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, it doesn't seem like Coach is really questioning it. Where Jerry is questioning it. And that's what I can respect. Jerry's like, is me flipping on my friend Rob or like this group that I've been with from the beginning really worth me pushing myself forward in this game? Coach is not questioning it. Coach is saying, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to defend my honorability. Where Jerry, even if Jerry has this question of honorability, I can respect her wanting. I can see her thinking the process through. Coach is like barely letting the game happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on Coach.
Not just
And
not
why
letting
I
the
have
game
a hard time
happen.
with him, and I know a lot of people love him, but it's hard for me. Like, I just don't see him. I have to rewatch South Pacific, but yeah.
It feels like he's more just not wanting to take part in the game.
Right.
Like, he's kind of just letting it happen around him, but then he's actually going to do his own thing.
Right.
And he's going to feel bad about it, and then everyone else is going to be upset with him. So there's really no win for him, I guess. But yeah, Boston Rob he's been outdone by the
Russell.
troll, the smelly man.
It's okay, Russ. Rob gets his lick back next season.
Yeah, he's good.
After. I don't
He's
know
good.
What, yeah.
And yeah, that wraps up this episode. Do you have any closing thoughts, or was that kind of it?
That's kind of it. Again, I'm enjoying this season. I'm enjoying rewatching it. I'm liking the rawness. I really like Jerry. I hate. I mean, obviously, I know how everything works out, so I can't be like, I'm interested to see where this goes. But I think I'm really getting a new lens. Specifically, like once you start a podcast, you really start watching these shows with a different like. I don't know. It feels like a different lens. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah.
So I'm interested to keep watching and seeing how I reflect on this season differently than the last time I watched it.
Right. I think it's fun being able to like not just talk about our thoughts, but like actually breaking down the episode and talking about like every little piece of it. It really does like form this different picture.
Right.
Right. Well, thank you for so much for watching and for sticking through our Love Island chat in the beginning if you didn't skip through that. And yeah, we can't wait to see you next time. But in the meantime, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Making Fire Pod. There's always a lot of fun happening over there. And like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.
I can't wait to see how this turns out. Love you,
Bye.
sweeties. Bye.